Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we'll be doing episode 9 of Hot and Cold. This is a video series I like to do where I pick out the hot, known as the best, and the cold, known as the worst, as well as the middle of the road tracks to have been released over the past week. Specifically for this episode, we'll be looking at any songs released from August 12th up until August 18th, 2018. And as usual, if you notice that a song or two is missing, let me know. Hit me up and just tell me that I just completely missed out on that song. So here we go, kicking off the hot tracks of the week. We have Ariana Grande with one of her new songs from the Sweetener record. This one is called Breathin. And my god, the pun is definitely needed here. It's a breath of fresh air. The vocals are just so angelic, and there's super clean and crisp production. It's one of the best cuts from the new Ariana Grande record, and should be one of the best songs of the year in my opinion. Another recommendation I can give here as a hot track from the past week is called Happier by Marshmello and Bastille, and I will go on the record to say that I didn't think that this collaboration would work. But both of these artists proved me wrong. Marshmello came through with one of his best beat drops in years that I've heard from him, and Bastille contributed nicely with these alternative elements of guitar. It's a very nice touch, and it's a solid vocal performance provided by the lead singer of that group as well. Altogether, I just love how the lows and the highs of the vocals are punched out there without faltering, and the song just hits its stride and just runs with it for the entire song. Another great track from the past week is called Alone on the Rope by Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. And for this one, I just love the low end of this song. It just makes you go into this deep, pensive thought, as well as having this nice twang to the guitar. I'll also talk about the other song that was released with this one, but that ends up on the middle of the road tracks later in this video. But next up, we have the new 1975 single. This one is called Two Time, Two Time, Two Time. I don't know why they say it 3 times, but whatever. Anyways, this one sounds like a silly little song about infidelity. Not that that's a joking matter. It's more just the song itself. It comes across as like this very dumb song, just for how repetitive it is, and it definitely hit me that way for the first listen, but it's definitely one that grows on you with repeated listens, and if you just let it consume you as a fun little tune, it'll be alright. The parts of the song that I'm just really enjoying are the catchy chorus and the hook, and the very heavily produced piano within this very sterilized mix. The 1975 really know how to pull off this very cleansed and clean production without taking away much of the emotional attachment that you can have with their songs too. They just have this formula down pat at this point, I feel. Another hot track from the past week is called Inspector Gadget by Animal Collective, and this group, along with Algiers, they're a very weird experimental band dabbling in a bunch of different kinds of rock. We got some post-punk, a bit of industrial rock as well, and this new track from the brand new record, Tangerine Reef, is a haunting and chilling vibe. Just a lot of scary sounds melded together with minimal amounts of vocals. Very Radiohead inspired, I feel. Very goth as well, and it should appeal to anyone who's into Algiers, like I previously mentioned, as well as Joy Division. Another new record that was dropped over the past week came from Cab For Cutie. This one is called Thank You For Today, and the best track from that album is called Northern Lights. This song here is driven by the low register plucking of the guitar and the hooky chorus. Definitely one that will have older fans keeping their faith and newer fans checking out their older catalog. So if you do pick out any songs on this new record, Thank You For Today, I highly recommend this one. Now I'm going to move on to the middle of the road tracks, which weren't the best that I heard from the past week, but weren't the worst either, just something to keep on your radar. And first up, we have the new single from Calvin Harris and Sam Smith. This one's called Promises. It's really the bridge and the production of the bass that are the two main highlights for this song for me, as well as Sam's vocals, but really that's what we come to expect at this point after he nailed it out of the park with basically every single song on his last record, The Thrill of It All. But for Calvin, the melody is okay, not as good as One Kiss, which featured Dua Lipa, but still a decent entry into the library. It's just kind of sad for Calvin at this point to resort to the stale and less summery sound to this new track here, No Promises, especially compared to Funk Wave Bounces Volume 1, but it's a progression into this house pop kind of sound that looks like it could be fully fleshed out into full-length album, which I still give kudos to, especially with Calvin having this way to distinguish each album with a new sound. Just hoping whatever he drops in the future is a bit more original and exciting than what's displayed on this new song promises. Another decent track to have been released over the past week is called Keep in Touch by Tory, Lanez, and Bryson. This one has a solid beat to it. I love the bang and the clatter to the bass drum and the snare, but outside this, the lyrics are a little humdrum and they are lacking something melodically. Still tolerable though. It adds to the previous song that was put out by Tory Lanez, which was called Talk to Me, which is a decently solid track too, so it looks like Tory Lanez is stringing together a pretty good streak here of good songs. Next up we have the newest single from Bishop Briggs, and this one is called Baby. It's a very dark and downtrodden song that we're used to from Bishop Briggs at this point, but the thing that really stuck out for me on this track specifically is the very airy timbre to the vocals. I think that's the appeal to the song, especially complementing the grimy production and the in-your-face topic of the lyrics. Sadly, the lyrics are a little bit generic here or there, but it's really just feeding into this male ego of being good in bed. Not really the worst lyrics that I've heard, but it's an okay song if you just kind of block out the lyrics. And to round out the middle of the road tracks, I've picked out the other Noel Gallagher single here, which is called If Love Is the Law, and this one's just pretty mediocre, pretty run-of-the-mill for Noel Gallagher at this point. Doesn't really stand out as anything special. That's really all I have to say about it. Now onto the cold tracks, which in my opinion were the worst songs to have been released over the past week, and kicking that off is Russ, and he's putting out this new single here called The Flute Song. This is the first teaser track for the upcoming album Zoo, which is coming out in September. This one's just a short, generic rap song, which doesn't really experiment outside of the basic rap formula at all. The flow is uninteresting, the beat is heavily drab, and the flute is extremely tedious and essentially useless, pretty much in the same vein as the song Portland that Drake put out last year. These types of songs really just come off as too gimmicky for me to come back to in the future. The next song I've picked out is called Real Friends by Camila Cabello featuring Sway Lee, and you might be thinking to yourself, hey, this was already on Camila's debut record, and you would be right. But this time round, the acoustic track gets more of a makeover with some bass, percussion, and a lackluster feature from Sway Lee, which just contributes this very horrendous auto-tune and a ripoff of Justin Bieber's typical delivery. Really, this song didn't really need a remix. I enjoy the song on the debut album from Camila, but it is what it is. And to round out the week, we get the newest single from Paul McCartney, and this one is called Fuh You. Yeah, I don't know why he couldn't just go through with saying the swear word, but this is definitely the cringiest song that Paul has ever written in his solo career. And this is what you really call a sellout. Not saying that Paul is a sellout for all his songs, but for this one in particular, for sure he is. Definitely with that millennial whoop in there, he's just really trying so hard to connect with this youthful audience. And it's such a shame after the first two singles for Egypt Station were really good. And there you have it. There's episode 9 of Hot and Cold in the bag. Let me know what you're thinking. Sound off down below in the comments. Agree or disagree. I'm here to engage with you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. My name is Ryan from True North Reviews. And as always, have a rockin' day. Thanks for watching.